1847, right? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharma Svanushtita Swabhavaniyatam Karma Kurvannapnoti Kilbisham. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharma Svanushtita Swabhavaniyatam Karma Kurvannapnoti Kilbisham. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharmat Svanushthitat Svabhavaniyatam Karma Kurvannapnoti Kilbisham. लाइव आ रहा है कि नहीं? हाँ क्या? हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम बोलो वर्ष. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. It is better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Duties prescribed according to one's nature are never affected by sinful reactions. One's occupation duty is prescribed in Bhagavad Gita. As already discussed in previous verses, the duties of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra are prescribed according to their particular modes of nature. One should not imitate another's duty. A man who is by nature attracted to the kind of work done by Sudras should not artificially claim to be a Brahmana, although he may have been born into a Brahmin family. In this way, one should work according to his own nature. No work is abominable if performed in the service of the Supreme Lord. The occupation duty of a Brahmana is certainly in the mode of goodness. But if a person is not by nature in the mode of goodness, he should not imitate the occupation duty of a Brahmana. For a Kshatriya or administrator, there are so many abominable things. A Kshatriya has to be violent to kill his enemies, and sometimes a Kshatriya has to tell lies for the sake of diplomacy. Such violence and duplicity accompany political affairs, but a Kshatriya is not supposed to give up his occupation duty and to try to perform the duties of a Brahmana. One should act to satisfy the Supreme Lord. For example, Arjuna was a Kshatriya, he was hesitating to fight the other party. But if such fighting is performed for the sake of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there need be no fear of degradation. In the business field also, sometimes a merchant has to tell so many lies to make a profit. If he does not do so, there can be no profit. Sometimes a merchant says, "Oh my dear customer, for you I am making no profit." But one should know that without profit, the merchant cannot exist. Therefore, it should be taken as a simple lie if a merchant says that he is not making a profit. But the merchant should not think that because he is engaged in an occupation in which the telling of lies is compulsory. He should give up his profession and pursue the profession of a Brahmana. That is not recommended. Whether one is a Kshatriya, a Vaishya, or a Sudra doesn't matter if he serves by his work the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even Brahmanas who perform different types of sacrifice sometimes must kill animals because sometimes animals are sacrificed in such ceremonies. Similarly, if a Kshatriya engaged in his own occupation kills an enemy, there is no sin incurred. In the third chapter, these matters have been clearly and elaborately explained. Every man should work for the purpose of yajna or for Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anything done for personal sense gratification is a cause of bondage. The conclusion is that everyone should be engaged according to the particular mode of nature he has acquired, and he should decide to work only to serve the supreme cause of the Supreme Lord. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham apina tyajit sarvarambha hi doshena dumena agnir ivavritaha. Every endeavor is covered by some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up the work done born of his nature. O son of Kunti, even if such work is full of fault. In conditioned life, all work is contaminated by the material modes of nature. Even if one is a Brahmana, he has to perform sacrifices in which animal killing is necessary. Similarly, a Kshatriya, however pious he may be, has to fight enemies. He cannot avoid it. Similarly, a merchant, however pious he may be, must sometimes hide his profit to stay in business, or he may sometimes have to do business on the black market. These things are necessary, one cannot avoid them. Similarly, even though man is a Sudra serving a bad master, he has to carry out the order of the master, even though it should not be done. Despite these flaws, one should continue to carry out his prescribed duties, for they are born out of his own nature. A very nice example is given here. Although fire is pure, still there is smoke. Yet smoke does not make the fire impure, even though there is smoke in the fire. Fire is still considered to be the purest of all elements. If one prefers to give up the work of a Kshatriya and take up the occupation of a Brahmana, he is not assured that in that occupation of a Brahmana there are no unpleasant duties. One may then conclude that in the material world, no one can be completely free from the contamination of material nature. This example of fire and smoke is very appropriate in this connection. When in winter time one takes a stone from the fire, sometimes smoke disturbs the eyes and other parts of the body. But still one must make use of the fire despite disturbing conditions. Similarly, one should not give up his natural occupation because there are some disturbing elements. Rather, one should be determined to serve the Supreme Lord by his occupation duty in Krishna consciousness. That is the perfectional point. When a particular type of occupation is performed for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, all the defects in the particular occupation are purified. When the results of work are purified, When connected with devotion service, one becomes perfect in seeing the self within, and that is self realization. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः चैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं साद्वैतं साधूतं हरिजनसहितं गोपेशा गोपिका राधा All businessmen are given freedom, huh? To tell lies and do black market, huh? Once one fellow, he was selling momos, momos. He was shouting, all beautiful women, it is free. For all beautiful women, it is free. Like that. They came and, भैया और एक पैकेट दो 200 रुपये बोलते 200 रुपये दो बोलते अरे all beautiful women. Then he showed the board. Makeup निकाल के दिखाना पड़ेगा. देना पड़ा ऐसा टेक्निक. Srila Prabhupada said, I have done only half of the job, establishing Krishna consciousness. Half of the job is left out. What is that? Establishing Varnashram Dharma. Because we see sometimes somebody may try very hard to become a devotee. Some people, they cannot simply become devotees. That's it. How much ever you tell them to chant or read, they simply can't, because time has not come for them. It's like in the previous verse it is said, when somebody is situated in their own occupation duty, when they perform that duty as a service to Krishna, then they achieve perfection. They don't have to chant and all, So this process that we are following, this chanting and all, is not for everybody. Everybody cannot do. Prabhupada is saying, like day before yesterday, there is one devotee, Rameshwar Prabhu. He is a very close associate of Srila Prabhupada. We had a meeting of marathon and then he was speaking so many nice things. So Prabhupada was telling that every year, last year we distributed 3 lakhs, 15,000 Bhagavad Gitas. Previously around 2 lakh 50,000. Like that, every year we are distributing so many lakhs all over India, all over the world. Few million books we distribute. According to the proportion of the books distributed, we don't see devotees. Somebody may raise this question, but ISKCON has distributed millions of literatures. What purpose it served? We don't see so many devotees. But Prabhupada stressed upon this business of book distribution. Then he gave a very beautiful explanation. Prabhupada only gave that explanation. When we go and distribute books, somebody touches a book, somebody pays for it, somebody goes through the pages of Bhagavad Gita, somebody looks into the photographs. Prabhupada said, their devotional service has started. Slowly, slowly, they will come. Then, when they spend money for Krishna, when they touch the books of, because he was describing once, actually when Prabhupada was translating books, he was alone. Prabhupada was alone. He will not allow anybody to come inside. It is his personal time with Krishna. One day, Rameshwar Prabhu, Prabhupada was distributing books, translating the books, writing the books in the middle of the night in Kumbh Mela in Allahabad. They kept a heater, it was going off some other. So his job was to light the heater, keep on heating it, so that Prabhupada will not feel cold. That was the first time he could observe how Prabhupada was translating books, dictating. Prabhupada was so absorbed. Then Rameshwar was saying he had a feeling that Prabhupada is hearing the dictation from Krishna, and then Krishna is dictating to Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada is dictating into the dictaphone. Prabhupada was not externally conscious that Rameshwar Prabhu was there in the room. That's why Prabhupada said, I have not written these books. Krishna is dictated. So the purports that are written in these books, they are not ordinary. They are dictated by Krishna himself. So when the people come in touch with these books, they become religious. Then Prabhupada said, in future times, when so many books are distributed, and then people become conscious, dharmic, then they get an idea that we should elect a person who is Krishna conscious. when Krishna conscious persons, they become leaders, then they will establish Varnashram Dharma. You understand me? Huh? It is required because everybody cannot become a मालाधारी, right? कितना भी बोलो माला नहीं पकड़ेगा. That is their level. That's it. You just can't blame them, or that's it. But for them, Varnashram system is required. So everybody should perform their duties. That is right. So Prabhupada said, ISKCON movement is incarnation of Krishna in this age of Kali. And ISKCON, what is the purpose of incarnation of Krishna? And annihilate the demons. Prabhupada said there are two kinds of demoniac people in this world right now in Kali Yuga. One is godless governments. See how in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, communists, that Stalin, how he is so much against Vedas, Hinduism, right? I think his son was saying that Sanatan Dharma should be destroyed, something like that, right? Stalin, like that, all this, they are all atheistic people. There is one very famous, I think that time he was the defense minister or something like that. He came, he was big time atheist. When devotees went to offer, there was some program in the garden, he came. So when the devotees went to offer garland, he just pushed him away. He is a big atheist. All this, so that is the, like our great misfortune, Jawaharlal Nehru, he was a very big time atheist. He said, don't do, Shraddha Varmi. I don't believe in all these things. Then he said, these dams and all, they are modern temples. That is modern temple. Yeah. Like that. Then he said, all these sadhus and all, they have destroyed, our India. Then Ambedkar, Ambedkar also big time atheist, Buddhist. Yeah. He said, don't perform Shraddha Varmi. No last rites. Yeah. Yeah. He criticized Islam everywhere. Casteless. Anyway, so Prabhupada said, then number one, scientists, number one, godless governments, and number two, godless scientists. So these scientists, they are teaching us, there is no God, there is no Atma. Then what is this? Darwin's evolutionary theory. Satyapal Singh, I think, there is one minister, right? There is one minister in BJP government. I think now I don't think he is a minister anymore. He said, this Darwin philosophy is bogus. Nobody had seen a monkey becoming a man. He made a declaration. Then all these, leftists, liberalists, they all attacked him. See, this kind of minister we have, unscientific. Arey, answer him, na? If you say that a monkey becomes a man, show, we will believe.
Why are monkeys there?
Yeah,
They should not be there.
yeah. Monkey becoming a man, like that. So, in order to defeat godless governments, Prabhupada books should be distributed very on a large scale, where millions of people come in contact with Prabhupada books, and they keep on taking births, and then they will mature to some sort of religious person, some sort of devotees, and then when there is a large number of people, then they will elect Krishna conscious governments. That is in future. We may not be alive. That is the vision of Prabhupada for 10,000 years. Then Prabhupada encouraged to write articles, books, publish books, defeating this Darwin's theory. And Big Bang theory. Then this atheism, and defeat all these beliefs. The scientific, they are manufacturing so many things. It doesn't mean that they can tell that there is no God. They have no proof, right? There is no proof that they did not prove that God doesn't exist, right? If they had proven that God did not exist, there will be no line in Tirupati, right? Last time when we went to Tirupati, they were saying some people waited for 48 hours because of we went on October 2nd, na? There is holiday. So 2-3 holidays were there. Then for a special darshan only 7 hours it took. Last time when we went, it took only 2 hours. Special darshan means only 2 hours. But this time 7 hours. We were in the queue. So much rush everywhere. So in general, people are waiting 24 hours, 48 hours, general darshan. Why? Because scientists did not prove. God is not there. So, that is why we are, Prabhupada insisted that distribute my books, distribute my books, distribute my books. Right? Now there have all these, Nitish Kumar, Kejriwal, all these guys, they were saying, मंदिर वही बनाएंगे, डेट नहीं बताएंगे. मंदिर वही बनाएंगे, डेट नहीं बताएंगे. फिर अभी ये लोग बोल रहे हैं मंदिर वही बनाएंगे, डेट भी बता दिया. January 23rd or 24th? 22nd? You are going? Huh? You are going? Huh? क्या बात कर रहे? You were there?
Yeah, at the railway station I was there. I didn't participate, but I was there.
कैसा? You went?
I had gone for my business tour.
Tour.
6 दिसंबर में पिछली होएगा. चला
Yeah.
गया. तो उधर फंस गया.
फंस गया? फिर?
had a tough time. Curfew लगा हुआ था.
You went to Ayodhya,
Not Ayodhya, the next station.
Faizabad.
Yeah. So वहाँ पे सब वो car sevaks and all that boarded the train and everything. They were showing me pictures of who's this guy? Lal Lal Krishna Advani.
Yeah.
They were showing the pictures that he's gone and opening the masjid and all.
Adventurous.
खाने पीने को कुछ नहीं जाऊँगा.
हाँ. फिर
फिर दिल्ली गया वहाँ से.
rides have already started, right?
Yeah, it has started. पूरा कर्फ्यू भी लगा दिया. You could not go out of the station also. Even in Delhi also. You cannot go outside the station. I was there for a couple of days at the station only. Then I managed to come out.
I was a new bhakta at that time. 92, right? 92? December, 6 December, right? So I was given, so then there was so all riots are going on in Mumbai. And there was a threat that, Mumbai temple, our temple may be attacked. So I was kept, near the bell. Pehra. So I should look into everywhere, and if there is any sign of danger, I should ring the bell. That was my job. Luckily, there was no need for ringing the bell. But whole day, whole night, we were doing Pehra. So we are distributing 1 lakh Gitas free of cost. So all of you can work hard to get sponsors. Take a quota. How many Gitas you will get sponsored? I think people definitely will sponsor. राम जन्मभूमि ओपनिंग के टाइम पे गीता बांटने का. और जुहू टेम्पल का कोटा 25,000 गीतास. All over India 1 lakh Gitas. For 1 month after the opening, for at least 10,000 people every day, prasad distribution in Ayodhya. ISKCON will do. And they have booths. They have given a special booth to us. So get going, work hard. 1 month. For 1 month, ISKCON will have a stall. January. That was the so that was the plan of Prabhupada, to defeat the scientists and godless governments. Then slowly establish Varnashram Dharma. Otherwise, in this modern age, when Srila Prabhupada was preaching in India in 1950s and early 60s, he was going to meet rich people and asking. That time Indians used to have many sons, many children. Give me one son, I will make him a Brahmana. all of them will refuse. That Brahman बन के क्या करेगा? Right? There are some cultured people in India that time. Once one Prabhupada met one very rich man. That rich man, he employed a Brahmana to teach culture, samskaras to their son. His son. Then Prabhupada asked him, "You are not sending him to college and school and college. My son will become next after me, he will become the owner of the company. All these MBAs and graduates, they will work for him. There is no need for my son to study all this engineering and MBA. That's why I want to teach him our culture." That was the idea of Prabhupada to establish our school. He did not want our school to become affiliated to ICSC, whatever. No, because Prabhupada told 40 years back, Prabhupada knew everything. That if you become affiliated to this government, ICSC and all, you will not get time to teach Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Because now, Mrs. Engineer, that's what she says. They have such pressure of such syllabus, high pressure to finish. They were hardly able to teach any Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam to the students in the school. Prabhupada did not want our school to become affiliated, but still they became affiliated. Then who will join? Prabhupada said, rich people, sons, they will join. They don't need all these degrees and all. They need our culture. Some of the devotees in America and all, they want to come back because in America, situation is so bad. Bullying and uncultured people, right? Recently, some students, they came together and they killed one boy in the school, in America. Have you heard? Mass shooting, no. Students, because they were bullying one student, another student went to protect that student. Some students, they came together and they killed him. So that was, bullying is, so very bad situation. So in many of the devotees in America and England and all, they send their schools for homeschooling. They don't want to send their children to the schools and colleges because atmosphere in there is very bad. Right? All that. Like that. So, the first job that Prabhupada actually wanted, that ISKCON should train people to become Brahmanas. Prabhupada wrote in the third kind of Bhagavatam, last chapter, that actually, who is a Brahmana? Tell me, who is a Brahmana? How do you recognize somebody is a Brahmana?
He has knowledge of Vedas and
Prabhupada said, in order for the child to be recognized as a Brahmana, the parents should have followed Garbhadana Samskara. The parents at the time of conception, if they did not follow Garbhadana Samskara, that child is a Sudra. You understand? Huh? That's why Prabhupada said, in this age of Kali, it is very difficult to recognize somebody as a Brahmana because we don't know whether they have followed Garbhadan Sanskara. Then Prabhupada writes that an Acharya can recognize a guna, but still, if somebody is born in, they have acquired some gunas. So, seeing some good qualities in that person, an Acharya can designate him as a Brahmana and train him to be a Brahmana. So, ISKCON is meant for training people to become Brahmanas. That's why Prabhupada has said, I have given a chance. This Ambedkar, he hated this caste system and all because he said all these Dalits and all are persecuted. What did he do? He made them into more lower thing, Buddhist. At least Sudras, they have a higher position that they believe in God and all. These Buddhists, they don't believe in God. They are rejected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna. So what did they achieve? Right? Rather, Ambedkar should have joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement and then made them into Brahmanas. Is it not? If you can't beat them, you become one of them. So, if the Brahmanas are persecuting, then you become a Brahmana. ISKCON, the chance is given to everybody to become a Brahmana. Anybody who is second initiated, they can come and worship the deities. Yeah, but he did not accept Vedas. That's why we don't consider him. समझ में आ रहे? हाँ? If there is, हाँ? हाँ. You become peaceful, it's like, you become peaceful. Samadhama tapasavacham, shanti rajam mevacha, jnanam vijnanam astikyam, brahma karma svabhavacham. Prabhupada told, Brahmana means, a Kshatriya means Gupta. What is meant by Gupta? Prabhupada said Gupta. Gupta means one who keeps their money very secret. गुप्त रखते हैं पैसा. हाँ? गुप्त रखते हैं पैसा. बोलते हमारे पास कुछ है ही नहीं. Devotees go and ask them, हमें कुछ खत्म हो गया, इतना इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ रहा है, ऐसा झूठ बोलते हैं. गुप्त रखते हैं पैसा. Like in Mumbai, there are so many millionaires traveling in the, trains, local trains. We will not even come to know that they are such rich people. Ordinary घूमते रहते हैं. In 1976, Rameshwar Prabhupada told, you print 1 million Bhagavad Gitas. How many? 1 million means 10 lakhs. 1 million Bhagavad Gitas. In the history of book publication, that many books are never published. 1 million books that time. Only Harry Potter आने के बाद वो रिकॉर्ड थोड़ा बोलता है. Otherwise, 1 million books. One thing Prabhupada did not like, somebody has to work with Prabhupada. He did not like one thing. You should never tell Prabhupada it is impossible. He said the word impossible is found in the library dictionary of a foolish person. Who said? कौन बोला ये सब? The word impossible is found in the fool's dictionary. Like that Prabhupada said. Another thing you cannot do in front of Prabhupada. You cannot tell, I cannot do Prabhupada. अभी आजकल that training is not there in ISKCON. कुछ भी gurus are like that, chelas also are like that. But in front of Prabhupada, Prabhupada wanted a visa because of his foolishness of his disciples. Prabhupada's green card got cancelled. So when 1977 he wanted to go to America, his visa was not there. Prabhupada said, I want to go, get the visa. He went to Delhi. Prabhupada told, Abhiram will do it. So Abhiram Prabhu cannot say, Prabhupada, I cannot do this because this within 1 or 2 days it is difficult because in Delhi consulate office is closed and it is difficult to get visa. Then Abhiram Prabhu went to Kolkata. During 1971 war, they were friends with this American consulate, consul general. They used to, because in that time India is very hot and then there were no much ACs and all, no Coca-Cola and all available. So these devotees, they used to go to him and they sit with him in the AC room, drink Coca-Cola. And then he used to derive information from them about Bangladesh. Because devotees are going around and then they were like that, gathering information. Abhiram Prabhu went to that consular general, said, by today evening, I want Prabhupada's visa. He said, it is impossible. I cannot give. I cannot give. He said, Prabhupada does not want to hear. I cannot. So you have to do it. Then he started giving galis to Abhiram Prabhu. He said, see, if you don't give visa by today evening, I will tell to the press that you are gathering information about Bangladesh from all of us. Just imagine what will happen. Then he started giving galis distance. I said, I am not going. You give visa. Then he gave a visa. He said, Prabhupada, visa. Prabhupada said, yeah, I know Abhiram can do it. That's why I sent you. That's how, that is how, they were disciples of Prabhupada like that, achieve. Prabhupada told to Rameshwar that I want 1 million Gitas to be printed, plus 17 volume Chaitanya Charitamrita, each 20,000 copies. You know the story, how they printed Chaitanya Charitamrita in 2 months, Have you heard? It's another time we'll tell. So, one day there was a Sunday feast. So after Sunday feast, their lecture was there and then preaching and all. So Rameshwar Prabhu started preaching to one young man. Said the importance of Bhagavad Gita and then Prabhupada and we are planning to print 1 million Bhagavad Gitas and so so for printing 1 million Gitas, you have to give at least 50% or 25% advance to the publisher so that they will purchase paper, printing material and all that. It's not 1 million is not a small number. 10 lakh means like that. At least that time unheard of. No publisher printed 1 million copies like that at one point of time. So, so that young man, he was very impressed. he gave one briefcase. He gave one briefcase. He said, some money is there, you take it for printing, it will be useful. So, he looked very ordinary, that man. I said, okay. Then so next day, that day night, when everybody was over, gone, and then Ramesh Prabhu opened the suitcase. So by the time it is night time, he called his assistant, right now, come here. Devendra or somebody, come here. They were taking out bundles of $100. $100. $100. And so next day, early morning, as soon as the bank opens, we have to go and deposit this cash. All cash, dollars. So when they sat and then they went to the bank, when they, they started counting, it is $250,000. How much? Huh? $250,000. During that time, 1970s, 76, $250,000 is not a small amount. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, $250,000. Then they published and immediately he wrote a check, $250,000. He went to the publishing company, he gave it to the publishers, and then he said, you stop everybody's work and then you print our Gitas. So now I have given you the advance, $250,000. He said, okay, they started printing. $250,000, like that. After 1 week, one person came, surrounded by 6 very hefty, tall bodyguards. Bodyguards. They are called bouncers. And then Ramesh Prabhu, they asked, who is Rameshwar Das? I said, I am Rameshwar. Can we talk to you? I said, yeah. Last Sunday, one gentleman came. He gave $250,000. That money doesn't belong to him. Where is that money? And then they are all, looking at him, threateningly. Ramesh Prabhu just prayed to Krishna. He said, how to have a... Then he said, I already spent $250,000. He said, how it is possible to spend $250,000 in 1 week's time? Then he started preaching Bhagavad Gita, importance of Bhagavad Gita, how they are printing 1 million copies. For half an hour he preached to him, it seems. Then he said, okay. Then they left. So that's how, miracles happen in Prabhupada's movement, like that. So, anyway, Prabhupada wanted actually, Prabhupada told, oh, our Brahmananda is a Brahmana. If somebody comes and asks him how much money he has, he will tell. Brahmana means he cannot hide. Gupta means he will hide. Like that. So, all of us actually, we should, develop, Brahminical qualities. Proper. So, if there is a Brahmana in the society, real Brahmana, not somebody simply taken birth in the Brahmin family and they eat onion garlic. Brahmana, Like previously they used to have, you know, Brahmana Bhojanam, right? Brahmana Bhojanalayam. You know, you've seen? Huh? What is meant by Brahman Bhojanalayam? No onion, no garlic, right? अभी सब ब्राह्मण लोग अनियन गार्लिक तो खाते ही है, वो मांस भी खा लेते, ना, दे ईट मीट ऑल्सो. दे से not getting enough strength and all that. हाँ, yeah, egg खाएगा. टी कॉफी तो ठीक है. Onion garlic. Right? I tell my people in my house, you know, they do this kind of that puja, this puja. You know, every day they chant Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra. Right? After Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra, very nice, nicely cooked onion garlic. You know? So what is the use, right? Brahmana, we should remain Brahmanical. So that's why Prabhupada, you know, it is greatness of Prabhupada, you know, he trained all these Americans also into Brahmanas, right? Some devotees are so clean, like you have seen, you know, our Jannivas Prabhu, Pankajangiri Prabhu, they are so Brahmanical, everybody respects them. So like that. So once Brahmanas come to the society, Brahmanas are there in the society, real Brahmanas, then all other Varnas will come. Right? Those Brahmanas will guide the king. Right? What is Ram Rajya? Huh? What is Ram Rajya? Huh? Ram Rajya means Ramchandra ruled the kingdom according to the Shastra. He never deviated even inch from Shastric rules. That is called Ram Rajya. So bringing back Ram Rajya means what? Right? We should have a king who will rule the kingdom. That's why Prabhupada said, my books will become law books for the entire world in future. So they will refer Prabhupada books and they rule the countries. Can you imagine? That those days will come. That's why Prabhupada books are so important. You know, read them, you know. The greatest service you can do to Prabhupada is read them. Right? Every day, you know, every day you read them. That is the how, you know, actually Prabhupada wrote in 4th Canto Bhagavatam, greatest service you can do to a pure devotee is to hear from him. So every day you read Prabhupada books and then you will become inspired and then you distribute to others. Okay? Hare Krishna.